Now, a meeting is conducted to transparently discuss about the issues of the company. Company meetings are the essential part of a corporate governance because they serve as platform where important decisions and significant issues are discussed. It is very, very important. So in an annual general meeting, we try to say that as per the law, we have followed these things and this is the outcome. Good morning and welcome to the first session, Unit 4, second semester, Company Law and Practice in BCom, where we're going to talk about company meetings. Now, what is this company meeting and why is it so important? Company meetings are the essential part of a corporate governance because they serve as platform where important decisions and significant issues are discussed. Now, normally when we meet a person or whenever we have meeting, informal or formal with our colleagues, with the office mates, then we don't make it something look too important or we don't make it come to the highlight as far as possible. But then when we look into a company taking up the call in terms of conducting a meeting, might be a board meeting or an extraordinary general meeting, or it might be a shareholders meeting, but then every meeting means something for the company. So that's why we say they provide a structured environment to the shareholders, directors and other stakeholders to voice out their opinion on key matters and ensure that company operates in compliance and legal and with the regulatory factors. Now let's go further in terms to understand given the diverse nature of the company that we are talking about today, various types of meetings are necessary to address specific issues and fulfill different functions. Now let's try to understand this. A meeting does not mean that I would discuss everything in one go. A meeting means to say that I might have certain issues which might be burning topics, which might be issues where I would like to talk about certain specific things. So here, I'm looking at something where every meeting has got a fixed agenda and there is a purpose for which we conduct the meeting. So when I move further, the company meetings are a formal gatherings of individuals who are involved about the operations. They talk about the shareholders, the directors, creditors, and also these meetings are conducted to discuss about the various aspects on management finance. Now, a meeting is conducted to transparently discuss about the issues of the company, to transparently tell the shareholders where exactly the company is heading into and what are all the targets, the goals, the objectives and policies of the company. So it is mandatory for a person to understand how the company is working in tandem to that of the objectives and the policies. Now let's move further and try to understand what are essential for these factors as we are talking about. Now, one thing that we need to understand is decision making and transparency. Collective decision making. Now, that's a very important word which I would like to stress upon here because now when we are talking about decision, this is not made by an individual person or a board of director or chairman. Rather, this is made in consensus with those millions of shareholders who want the benefit of the company, who seek the well-wishing of that company. They try to understand, they try to make it a point that on their investment, the company should grow well and the company should seek a brighter future. Now, transparency. Now, what happens here is that we are transparent to all the issues of the company that are happening. It might be a profit and loss statement that we are talking about, a gender issue, or we might be talking about a harassment case. We might be talking about an appointment of new director or a resignation of CEO. But we want the meetings to be transparent through which the issues can be focused, published, and told the shareholders that what exactly is going on inside the company. The next thing is that compliance and accountability. Compliance means to say that you are trying to comply with the laws and regulations. You are trying to stick to the rules and regulation as prescribed by the Companies Act of 2013, which means to say that the laws and rules are meant to be followed properly, mandatorily taken into account, into action, and not try to be compromised. So that's why compliance is very, very important. So in an annual general meeting, we try to say that as per the law, we have followed these things and this is the outcome. Accountability. Now, the company needs to take accountability for each and every action that they have taken. It might be regarding an investment or a disinvestment, or they're trying to come up with new projects, or they're trying to re-establish themselves, diversify themselves. There might be 101 things that we can talk about. But then, who is going to take that responsibility of addressing it to the shareholders? The company takes the responsibility by addressing these issues through the annual general meeting. Now, the next thing that we are talking about, conflict resolution. Many a times it happens that the shareholders are not happy with the company's gestures or the moves. Why? Because there is a time where the shareholder feels that the company should have not taken this, and the company feels that whatever they have done is right. So automatically we land into the zone of conflict. Now, a conflict essentially does not mean that you get into a physical handcuff and fight altogether, but then there is a conflict of opinion. There is a difference of opinion that starts arising, and this needs to be discussed and resolved. This needs to be taken into a position where we resolve it with voting. So that means you call the shareholders, you make them understand why a certain decision was taken by the company, what were the challenges that they need to address, and where are we currently standing with the decision that we have taken. So this means to say that the need for conflict resolution is very, very critical today. Why? Because we want to solve the issues amicably. We don't want to get into an unnecessary verbal duel and lead the shareholders as well as the company into trouble. We want to resolve the issues through dialogue and make everybody understand the importance of a decision that has been taken. Now, moving on, we also know what are the need and what are the basics that we have to follow for a company meeting. So let us try to understand the requisite, the needs that we are going to follow during a company meeting. The first thing that I would like to say, a proper authority. That means there is a committee, there are a group of people headed by the company secretary, by the board and the members who are said to be the appropriate authority, and they are going to make the decisions during the meeting. Now, anything that is being uncalled for without the proper designation, authority and role, and somebody makes a decision, will not be validated. So it needs to come from the proper hierarchy altogether, followed by which the proper notice, which means who are all the eligible participants. They must be informed about the date, time, place and agenda, and well in advance. So as per the company law itself, when we see here, we specifically under the section 101 and 102, we provide an adequate notice to the eligible members stating that please come to this particular location on this date, on this time, to attend the meeting, to understand what is going on with the company. So there needs to be given a formal notice to understand what is happening in the company. Next one is that we have a quorum. A quorum means a minimum number of members, shareholders required to be present to proceed the meeting. And probably whenever I'm talking about all the Nifty 50 companies, the publicly listed companies, there are millions of shareholders. So it is not possible that everybody would be able to attend the company's meeting. So a minimum present, let's say about 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000, whatever might be the numbers that we are going to keep, that specific number of people need to be present in order to the smooth functioning of the meeting to take place. And this type of meeting is conducted at a proper public venue. Now, we also go with the presiding officer. The presiding officer needs to be the chairman, and the chairman or the head of the company. So that person is going to be responsible for the orderly conducting of the meeting. He maintains the decorum of the meeting. He invites all the participants. He gives them a chance to speak, and he is going to be there to address all the issues of the company. Followed by which we also have valid transaction business, whatever the transactions, the business modules that we have undergone, what decisions we have made outside the company, what decisions we have considered internal, what are the kind of, the factors that we have complied with the company law. All those things have to be discussed threadbare in the meeting, which means to say that the scope of the agenda has to be very, very clear, and we need to stick to this agenda talking about what exactly we are going to work about. Followed by which we are also talking about the minutes of the meeting. Now, this becomes the responsibility of the company secretary, who would make the notes of all the meeting, and this is again documented properly as an evidence, as well as reminder to the people who have attended the meeting. So they make a proper minutes of meeting, and an official record is created and later circulated among. It's also available in the archives of the company. So anybody who was not able to attend the meeting can go through that archive, can go through the document and understand what has been happening in the last meeting or in the last couple of meetings that they were not able to see. Now, with this, I come to the end of today's session, and I hope and believe that all the facts and figures that we have been speaking would be of a great help to you, both in terms of theory as well as in the practical walk of life. In the upcoming session, we are going to continue with the company meetings, trying to address the different kinds of meeting and with their specific purpose. But until then, you stay tuned, stay blessed, and stay enlightened forever. Thank you once again for joining me today on this wonderful session.